Salvete discipuli et discipuli. Please work on the Chapter 12 drills and exercises this week. Here are examples of how to do each one, a kind of each one. So the Latin and daily life drills, Helen Chestnut intends for us to practice just sort of seeing and hearing Latin all around us in many different ways. So please explain the meaning of each italicized words in each sentence. What vocabulary words are they based on? So number one is there is a large equestrian statue in the park. Equestrian is related to the word equus, which is from our vocabulary, and it means horse. So an equestrian statue is a statue of a person on a horse. Very popular in the ancient Roman world and also found here in the United States. For the drills, as you are used to by now, you deduce the endings that go in the blanks, and then please write the English meaning of each sentence. Sometimes you kind of have to figure out what the sentence is trying to say before you can figure out what endings go in the blank and what kinds of sentence patterns are being used. I want to take a look at number two because I feel like the meaning of number one is kind of unfortunate. So let's take a look at this one. Serv, bone, domen, amat. So we can tell right away that we've got a servus, a servant, a dominus, probably, since this is chapter 12 and we're doing second declension nouns, and amat, the verb, loves. We can see from the T that this is third person singular. So we have a choice. We can choose to make the doer of the action the servus, or we can choose to make the doer of the action the dominus. Either one is perfectly fine. Just to play with Latin word order, I'd like to try this sentence with dominus as the nominative. So us is our new singular and nominative ending for the second declension. So the us ending is going to make the dominus the doer of the action. That would mean that the servum is going to be the receiver. He's accusative. So the dominus, the man in charge, likes the servum. Now we have to decide which person the adjective bonum is going to modify. Is the man in charge good, or is the servum good? In Latin, adjectives typically do not necessarily follow their nouns. So I'm going to go with the bonum, modifying the servum. So we're going to have a servum bonum dominus amat. The man in charge likes the good servant. So you can fill in these endings in your notebook and then just go ahead and write the English meaning as well, please. And how you choose to translate servum is up to you. You might say enslaved man. I'm just going to go with servant. The man in charge likes the servant. Okay. So that's how to do the drills. You're inferring or deducing the endings that should go in the blanks. Sometimes there's only one possible choice. Sometimes there are multiple choices, as there were in sentence number 2. But it's getting used to using the new endings that we have in the second declension, nominative and accusative. Okay, and then the exercises, of course, are, I like that Helen Chestnut tells us write in Latin. She doesn't tell us translate. Again, it's not a matter of sort of robotically importing every English word into Latin. It's a matter of understanding what the English sentence is trying to say and then saying that same meaning in Latin. So let's just try sentence number 1, see what we can make of it. Some of you might have these sentences in your notebook already, and it might just be a matter for you of finding them. The little boys and the servants like the big garden. So like we can express in a couple of different ways. We could say amant, since this is a plural subject, Or we could use delectat, which would mean that garden is going to be our nominative and the boys and the servants are going to be in the accusative. I like that because I think it's more idiomatic in Latin. In other words, Latin speakers would tend to use delectat for a thing having the effect of pleasing a person. So let's make the big garden our nominative. So we're going to go with garden. That's hortus. It's one of our new vocabs. What kind of garden is it? It's a big garden, magnus. So the adjective has to match the noun it modifies in gender, number, and case. And in this case, it's going to have the same ending. A hortus magnus delectats, the little boys and the servants. But we're going to save the verb to the end. So the boys, they're going to have to be plural and accusative. So, our new plural and accusative ending is os. What kind of boys are they? They're little. Parvos. So they're little boys again. The adjective parvos matches the noun pueros that it modifies or describes, in that it is plural and accusative and masculine. Okay, the little boys and the servants. We may have gotten the conjunction que in this chapter. I think we have. So another way to say and is to stick this suffix onto the end of the second word. So let's go ahead and use it. Servos que. I believe we have gotten that in this chapter. If not, please correct me. You can always just say et servos. So hortus magnus, pueros parvos, servos que, and the servants, delectat. We just put our, remember the E of delectat is long, delectat, yes. This is going to be third person singular because it is a garden doing the action of pleasing or making happy the little boys and the servants. So this would be our expression in Latin of sentence number 1. Again, you'll be completing these exercises on your own. Stay away from Google Translate. Please do use macrons correctly and use the vocabulary words that we know rather than something that the internet or AI or Google Translate has given you. And just let me know if you have particular questions. Good luck. Buona fortuna.